Hello, ladies and gentlemen. James here. I hope you can hear me. Testing. But you see this complex over here? This is Livingston Avenue, and this whole complex is called Colonial Apartments. And what happened with Colonial Apartments was another slumlord didn't take care of his tenants. You have a lot of immigrants and low-income people that lived in these apartment buildings, and they had to put them up in the hotels and move. Uh, it was really a sad situation because a lot of people didn't have no place to go, and the security and the housing, security and police, and they had to go up in there and make sure 30 to 30 days. They had to make sure all these residents was out. I mean, if you can look back, it's like rows and rows of apartment that go all the way down the street. And let me see if you can see it. These apartments go all the way back down here, and all the way up to that street up there where that sign, that orange sign is at. So they this is another area. And again, you have these landlords that come out of town, they hire a local management, and they don't want to take care of the property. And the people had the same issues. They have flooding, they had apartments caving in, they had all kind of issues. They had all kind of problems. They had all kind of issues and problems and things. So all the way down to that street, all the way up to here, is empty apartments. And so the people that lived here come from West Africa, Haiti, probably with some, people like that, along with your other American low-income residents that live in these apartment complexes, and they didn't take care of it. So the code enforcement came out here, telling these people they can't live here. They got them staying all up around these little motels, and so they got to find some area for them to live. I filmed here once before. I filmed over there, but this is in Columbus, Ohio. This is the second complex that's like this. But there's 3 other complexes that's like this too. That there's a complex that it was on the northeast side. These people changed apartments. People live only by the moderate low income, working low income, disability, you name it. They switched over to owners, told these people they gotta get out in 30 days. That's it. And it was enough time for them to relocate. It's a pretty decent area, safe. This area can be a little active. I just walked in, there was a guy arguing with his girlfriend or wife, whatever. But this area, yeah. It's really sad that these landlords that they own buildings. They come into the city, and the people that own, that they were making good money, because if you would have fixed these apartments up on an area like this, and what they do, they can upgrade it. They can at least it's like just 2-level apartments. They can at least get about $1,500 grand. But that's what's probably is going to happen here. There's going to be some people going to come through here and see how much if it's worth, or what they do is they'll tear it down, redo like other part of Whitehall up here, and put a whole new industrial, like coffee shops, things like that. And put in some high-end apartments, because it's probably some decent good the foundation's probably is good, but if it's so, what they had to do was probably take out these buildings, tear down. I mean, brick buildings, tear down the buildings. That'd be one thing. Second thing they would do is revamp it. That's what they did in a couple other places here in Columbus, and it's a whole different time. Or it'd be nothing but empty lot, empty land, all over here. It'd be empty lot. So, and again, it's a lot of poor income, elderly people, 55 and over, a lot of your disabled people, a lot of people who are immigrants coming from a different part of the country that work at these little factory jobs, whatever, and they can only afford some rent, so they got to probably live two to a house, two to an apartment, whatever. It's just one of those situations. But down here, there's a furniture store, the grocery store. The nearest one is the Save-A-Lot, right down the road. Unless you go up to 2 miles up this road out here, that's where you can get a Kroger. But everybody got to go to Kroger way out here. So, yeah, see how my camera blew it in that direction? Yeah, so winds get kind of pick up out here. I had to use it. Hopefully you guys can hear me. But yeah, a lot of these places is food deserts, and they go low income. So your Save-A-Lots, your Aldi's, or Family Dollar, they come in, they put a store here. And so if you want good food and you're low income, you gotta go out to the suburbs. That's the truth. But it's called Colonial Apartments. But it was a really sad situation. A lot of people didn't have no place to go. A lot of them had to go into some hotels. The city's covering it for it, but they only got to cover so many amount a week. So you got, one of the major couple agencies that's trying to find housing to put. That's the biggest thing here in Columbus is the housing, because so now that's why the population is increased, because you don't have enough housing, and then you got to find some good landlord that would take care of the apartments. And they put a law in, so if you're a landlord in Ohio, you must take care of this property. They're gonna make you sign some things. But it was time where people could get properties out of town, but they're cracking down on that, because a lot of these people, they find laws to invade. And so when it comes to something like this, all they want is to rent, and the management team come in and they pick up a jet and they live out in New York or Las Vegas or Florida somewhere, while the people in cities like Columbus got to suffer. But this is one of the things I wanted to point out. But yeah, these scumlords left this like this, and like I said, there's other buildings around Columbus that's like this. They just, when it comes to low income people, all they want is the money. That's all they want. But yet, as you see down there, as the wind blew my camera, that's how far it went, all the way down there. But all right then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you find this video really intriguing. But yeah, see down there, all the way down there, all starting where that tree is behind that sign down there. All these apartments are empty. Then there's apartments that go way in the back, and it's like a 2-block apartments around it. And some people gotta live here because it was sad because they had no place to go. So all right then. Just want to show you. Here's another example of scumlords that own property in the city and don't take care of it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. See you on the next video.